Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Odontology. Today we are going to see about the morphology of maxillary first premolar. So the maxillary first premolar, always remember that maxillary first premolar will have the two roots. Okay, maxillary first premolar only will have two roots. Okay, two bifurcated roots and two well formed cusp. Okay, whenever the question is asked about the maxillary premolar, means from the crown aspect you can tell about two cusp is evident. Okay, well formed cusp and the only tooth that carries two roots. Okay, that is your first premolar, maxillary first premolar. So what are the, as usual, while we see the morphological aspects, we asked about the morphology. This is your crown portion and the root portion. And the root portion, the junction between the crown and the root, we have the well formed cervical line. Okay, when compared to the anteriors, you have what we saw in the maxillary central insert, the aspects. When you compare to the anterior, in posteriors we have a well formed occlusal aspect. So this here occlusal aspect of the maxillary first premolar. Okay, so first aspect is always first tell from buccal. Posterior means you should call it as buccal aspect, then mesial, buccal, mesial, then palatal, since it is maxillary tooth, palatal and distal. And finally the fifth aspect is, instead of incisal aspect for anteriors, for posterior it is occlusal aspect. Okay, so for the maxillary first premolar you have two cusp. Okay, however the small difference is there in this cusp based on the height. Okay, slightly it is higher, okay, when compared to the palatal cusp, where the palatal cusp is slightly shorter. So this, from the buccal aspect, the outline of the maxillary first premolar will resembles your maxillary canine, that is trapezoid shape, and you have two outlines, this is mesial outline and distal outline. In canine you have short mesial outline and long distal outline. When in maxillary premolar we have short distal outline and long mesial outline. Okay, so other things on the palatal aspect, I told a well formed palatal cusp, okay, in the shape of a spheroidal, okay, or egg shaped or spheroidal shaped in the mesial aspect, and this spheroidal shaped palatal cusp is slightly shorter than the buccal cusp, where the much of the buccal aspect can be viewed from the palatal aspect. Okay, however when you see the buccally, you can't see much of the palatal area. So move on to the mesial aspect. So in mesial aspect you have, it is almost flat, okay, and side slightly it is convex, and you have one small groove, okay, mesial marginal developmental groove that crosses the mesial marginal ridge. Okay, the mesial, that is one outstanding feature that is seen in your maxillary first premolar on the mesial aspect, that helps you to differentiate from the right and left maxillary first premolars. Okay, that is asked in your spotters exam in practical session. So you have mesial marginal developmental groove crossing the mesial marginal ridge arises from the central developmental groove of the occlusal aspect. Okay, and some of the tooth of the maxillary first premolar also have the distal developmental groove, however not much evident, only few are evident and some majority it will be absent only. But in all the teeth we can see the mesial marginal developmental groove. Apart from that, in the root aspect you have well defined groove that is present in the mesial aspect. Okay, however in your distal it is completely absent. So other things is, when you see the marginal outline, these are the marginal surfaces of the marginal outline. It is almost like equal only. However, when you see the mesial aspect is slightly higher and distal is slightly shorter. Okay, so Move on to the occlusal aspect, and we have to main concentrate on the occlusal aspect. This takes a shape of a hexagonal shaped. Okay, however, it is slightly rotated. When you see the occlusal aspect, it is slightly rotated. Okay, that means that indicates that the distal outline, this distal outline is longer than the mesial outline. Okay, that is why it's slightly rotated. This distal outline is larger than the mesial outline, and you can see a small ridge that is evident in the canine also. We call it as labial ridge. However, in your maxillary first premolar, it is called as buccal ridge. Okay, so apart from that, we can one small elevation is there here. Okay, a small elevation linear area, it is called as transverse ridge. Okay, this is asked as a common spotter in the examination. Okay, this is called as transverse ridge, connecting this this buccal cusp and the palatal cusp. Okay, apart from that, you have a central developmental groove, and here is your mesial triangular fossa. This is your mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa. Okay, where the apex of the triangle will be facing towards the central developmental groove, and base forms the marginal ridge. Okay, distal marginal ridge and mesial marginal ridge. This central developmental groove is linear, and near the marginal ridges and forms a small pit. Okay, mesial pit and distal pit. From there, it slightly radiates towards the buccal cusp and palatal cusp, called as mesiobuccal developmental groove and distal lingual developmental groove. Okay, same here, distobuccal and distolingual. Here is mesiobuccal and mesiolingual. Okay, sorry for the previous, it is called mesiolingual developmental groove, crossing the mesial marginal ridge and evident in the mesial aspect. Move on to the root portion. As I told, the maxillary first premolar have two roots, or the bifurcated root. Okay, where the buccal root is somewhat longer than the palatal root. So when you see the from the palatal aspect, some of the buccal aspect of the root can be evident from the palatal aspect. So apart from that, you have two small foramen is also evident, that is called as a apical foramen. Okay, in the apical 1/3 of the root. Okay, this is called as apical foramen, small, this one where your blood vessels and nerves will be passing into the pulp chamber. Okay, this is your furcation point. Okay, here is a perfect furcation point. So when in this video we saw about the morphological aspects of the maxillary premolar. Thank you. So if you like the video, please press on to the like button and subscribe to my channel Odontology. Thank you.